Hello and welcome to the Sports Commentary Podcast with Gabriel Nason. I am here with Ja'Shonte Wright Mcleish. I'm saying that right?
Yes, you are. You are.
Okay, perfect. He is the shooting guard for the Maine Black Bears. Tell us about yourself, man.
Yeah. So I'm Ja'Shonte Wright Mcleish. I've been on the Maine Blackbears for this is my fifth year now. So I'm a grad student. I'm from Montreal, Quebec. So I went to school in a French school actually, and my first English school was the University of Maine. So it was like a big step for me to switch, even though I'm Anglophone. So it was still a big transition. Um, And yeah, the season just started. We're about to go to Florida actually to play in a tournament tomorrow, Wednesday, and grow from we're trying to grow each game, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, absolutely. So you said you're obviously from Canada, from
Yeah.
Montreal, Quebec. What in the world gets you down to little old Maine down here instead of somewhere else?
Uh, well, I came here. So my so before I committed to Maine, I came on a visit, and I loved the vibe of the school. Um, I was actually getting recruited on homecoming, so I got to watch a football
Oh,
game,
nice.
um, and I got to like see like a bunch of sports play, and I just loved it here. So I decided to come here. It's actually also like close to home. It's like 5 hours and a half drive, so which isn't bad, and it's pretty. I mean, it's kind of similar to Montreal, except like there's like more to do in Montreal. There's a lot
Yeah.
of buildings, but the weather is the exact same thing, so I was kind of used to it. And I just fell in love with the school and the people, the community, and I decided to commit to Maine. So yeah,
Yeah, so you committed 2019, correct?
yeah, 2019,
So what is that
exactly.
like? You get here 2019, and all of a sudden you're a year in, you're starting to feel good, and then COVID hits. What did that do to you as an athlete?
Uh, it was a big shock. And it was kind of chaotic on campus. Like no one knew what to do. No one knew what was going on. I'm also international, so I had a decision to like stay or leave, and I decided to go back home while
Mhm.
waiting it out. So it was just like a big um shock that our season got. I mean, like it got cut. I mean, not the season, but the semester got cut fast,
Mm.
and it was just like my first year experience. I didn't get to experience it fully, and it did suck, honestly. But um, it happens. You never. You just have to just adjust to it, and I just got to go home, and then I just spent time with my family, and try to stay inside, and be safe. So yeah,
Yeah, for sure. So the 2019, you said you're a grad student, obviously. So you're here, fifth
yeah.
year senior. What is it? What is your biggest growth point through that time? You can say personally, um, on the court, whatever, up to you. But I mean, that's being a grad student, 5 years away from home too. Obviously, you went home for the one, but away from home. Where did you grow the most in your life in the past 5 years?
I feel like I grew as a person, like living by yourself away from home forces you to, do stuff to learn skills such as I had to learn how to cook because I wasn't on campus for dining hall, so I had to learn how to cook, clean, take care of myself, take care of the house, live with teammates. So I grew as a person, and also I grew on the court, like from freshman year to now, like I was two different players. I was more defense, but I grew also on offense. So, and I grew also my confidence just by playing, by experience in the NCAA. I just grew more confidence. So I grew in both, and yeah, it's been a long journey, honestly.
Oh, I can only imagine. I mean,
Yeah,
not let alone COVID, but the being away from home, learning so much. I mean,
exactly.
as a kid, right? I mean, you get thrown into college as a kid, and it's just like, oh, guess I'm gonna figure this all stuff out on my own.
Yeah, yeah, I had to.
So, for you this year on the court, we'll talk. Um, you have started the year off basically on fire. Last game was a fantastic game for you. Um, you've been lighting it up from three. I did the math because I had to do it quick because
Yeah.
I would have gone crazy if I wasn't. Um, but I saw you're on pace to shoot more threes and make more threes than you ever have in your entire career as a Black Bear. Is that
Mhm.
due to Coach Markwood's system, or is that more just to speak to your growth as an athlete that you're starting to hit the three more, starting to be more confident in hitting the three more? What's the change here?
I feel like it's just the players that I'm surrounded by and also Marco's system that for like that makes me get those open shots. Like I'm surrounded by great point guards, great facilitators, and they always pass for like look to pass first, like always look for the open person, which makes it easier. Like I just have to be available, be ready to shoot and it's gonna be there. And Marco's offense just allows me to get those shots too, like just the scheme of it. And we practice every day, like just passing, like doing extra passes, passing to the open person. It's just like drilled in our heads that it's always there, you know. So it's due to Marco's offense and just the players I'm surrounded by also that make me shoot like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what can you say? Obviously, like I said, shooting way better. But what can you say for Markwood coming in? Right. I mean, there's been the buzz around him coming in. You've had multiple different coaches now
Yeah.
since you've been there since 2019. So, like, what can you say? Is it has it been a hard transition for you, or has it just picked up right where it left off with Coach Markwood?
It's been like a very easy transition. Like Marco came in, he's a great coach, he's a great person. He cares about the players and the assistant coaches. So like it makes it easy. Like he's just a great person, so it's easy to, fit in. Even though like I was probably one of the only guys that's left from freshman year. Like I'm the only guy that's left.
Yep.
Like he's he's just been like a great person. Like he's always been there for us. Like it's been easy, um, being around him and just having him as a coach, honestly. And the assistant coaches are amazing too. So, like, it's just fun to be on that team. I really enjoyed these last 2 years with him. And yeah, he's just a great person, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, I feel you. So on the court, we'll go back.
Hmm.
You're a great defensive player. Always have been. I mean, in high school, up in Montreal, it looked like if I saw this correctly, you can correct me. But defensive player of the year, the last year in
Yes,
high school.
yes,
So
yes, I
so
was.
g- great defensive player. What is your drive? Because I was a big defensive guy. So like
Mm,
that mindset's my favorite type of mindset. So let me pick your brain for a little and just what is it that drives you defensively? Because I mean, defensively, it's the harder side of the court because it's just
hmm.
work, 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 work.
Yeah.
What drives you?
I feel like it's just like I tell myself, it's like a pride thing, like defending the person right in front of you, defending your yard. Like it's just a pride. I take it as a pride thing. Ever since I was like young, like offense, it could go either both. Like you could be making shots, or sometimes you have an off night, but your defense, I feel like is always for me it's always on. Like it always has to be on.
Mm,
And if my offense is not going well, I know my defense is going to be on. And sometimes that even pushes, like your offense, like gives you more confidence on the offense. So I always tell myself it's just like a pride thing. Like I want to guard this person. I want to keep him to like limited points. I want to force him into bad shots. So I feel like it's ever since I was young, like it was just a pride thing. Like I want to keep him to limited points, and that's where I get my like that's why I'm always like tough on defense. I always want to guard the toughest player. Like it's just that's who I am. Yeah,
yeah, I feel you. What's
yeah.
it like as a defensive guy sitting next to Tynes while he's leading the league in steals and having his great defense? It must
Of
make life a lot of fun, I
Oh
would
yeah.
assume.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Like if I make a mistake, I know he's there. he's always ready, you know, like he's always like he has your back all the time. So like if I make a mistake, I know he's there, and it helps that he has sticky fingers, like he's always ready
Yeah,
to get the ball. So it just makes it even better. And teams fear that too, you know. They know that Tynes is on the ball, like they know that he's good at stealing the ball. So, you know, some offenses are scared of that. So it's good. It's good. I'm glad that I get to play defense with him, you know.
yeah, for sure. And I mean, it's got to help elevate you, right? Because
Yeah,
then if teams are scared of him, they're gonna come your way, and it's like, okay, yeah, come my way,
exactly.
see
Yeah,
what happens.
exactly.
So, I mean, we talked about you coming from Canada. What was life growing up in Canada like? You said it's very similar here. Obviously, a little bit more to do up there, which
Yeah.
isn't hard to do when you compare
hmm
Maine, especially.
Yeah.
But up from there, what's life like? What's basketball like for a lot of people who don't know the basketball scene up in Canada? What's it?
Um,
What's the differences there for you?
I feel like basketball in Canada is like in Montreal specifically is like it's like basketball in the United States. It's just like I feel like there's more opportunities in the United States to be seen. That's why a lot of Canadians go to the States, just because there's more opportunities. But basketball it's been evolving in Canada. Like there's more like NBA players are from Canada. I also grew up with uh I don't know if you know the Luguentz Dort on
Yep.
OKC.
Yep.
Yeah, he was one of my. I used to play with him, and I grew up with him, and like it's just the basketball scene is evolving. So it's amazing playing in Montreal, honestly. Like the atmosphere is always intense. Each high school game, each game is always intense. And I'm just glad that there's more, like, people are getting seen more in Montreal because there's a lot of hidden gems over there.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
playing with Lou Dort, so I mean that
yeah,
defense
exactly.
must be
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
defensive team
exactly,
must have been pretty wild too, eh? Goodness
exactly.
gracious.
Yeah. So it was really good playing in Montreal. Like we always had like annual tournaments, like Christmas tournaments, and it was everyone would come and watch it, and it's just the crowd goes crazy, and yeah, I loved playing there when I was a kid. So yeah, it's really good.
So, on that note, what is your goals for on the court this year, but also going forward? Is there a hope for a Canadian national team? Is there what's the hope for you moving forward?
Oh, I hope that they build a team in Montreal, honestly, like an NBA team in Montreal. I heard that they're thinking of it, but I hope it happens, you know.
Yeah,
Um, but honestly, like after I graduate, I I want to play professionally, so I'm gonna see what my options, like what's my options there. I do want to continue playing basketball, that's for sure. There's also a new Canadian professional league too
mm,
that's new, like it's been new for like 3 years now.
yep,
So maybe play for one of their teams after the season, see how that goes. And yeah, but I do want to play it professionally after
yeah.
I graduate.
What is playing professionally for you? Is it NBA or bust, or are you happy with just playing basketball professionally for your life? Is that because I know
Oh
some
yeah,
people would be like, oh, it's not the NBA, but I mean like professional basketball is professional basketball, right?
yeah, exactly. I'm just happy with professional basketball, you know. Anything like just playing the sport makes me happy. I've been playing it since I was 6, so like I just love playing the sport and being in the sport. So it does not matter to me, like just playing professionally, honestly.
Yeah. Has there been
Yeah.
opportunities? Have people reached out, or is it gonna have to be a wait and see after the season type of thing?
Yeah, it's gonna have to be like a wait and see after the season. Nobody has reached out yet because they know I'm still in my grad year.
Yeah,
So we'll see like once the season's over, I'll see what are my options.
for sure. What about this year with the Black Bears? I mean, there's obviously the winning the wow, my brain has just forgot the America East Conference. Wow, my brain
Yes,
just
yeah.
forgot there for a second. And then obviously winning the America East Conference, winning the tournament, making the NCAA tournament, winning a game, at least one, if not a bunch, as we've seen a lot of
Hmm.
small schools do. Um,
Yeah.
what is it for you? Is there a specific one in mind, or is there any personal goals for you this year? What do we have for you?
Honestly, like I want us to put Maine, like Maine on the map, I would say. So win the America East championship, that would be a goal. I think our whole team's goal is to win a championship and then go to a tournament. That's always been one of my dreams, to always play in a tournament. So that's I think that's everyone's goal too, is to play in the tournament. So I think that's two goals that me and the team we both want. And for personal goals, honestly, it's just being consistent every game. So come out consistently every game, on defense and offense. I think consistency is important, when we play. So the coaches know what I could give, every game. So I think that's a goal for me this season.
And what would it mean to you to be? I mean, obviously, like you said, everybody wants to be in the NCAA tournament, but I mean, it means
Yeah.
different things to different people. What would that mean to you, like personally, to be in that tournament, like
Oh,
on the biggest stage?
it's a dream come true, honestly. Like I've been watching the NCAA March Madness ever since I started playing basketball. So being on that stage, you know, just being able to play one game in the March Madness is a dream come true. Um, like that's something that I would love to leave my, say like I've been to a tournament in my college career, win the America East, be champions. That's something that I would want this year, to leave college and say that we did that would be
Yeah,
amazing.
for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, the people of Maine, I think, would travel wherever that game would be and would
Of
come
course.
watch. That's for sure.
Yes, of
Um,
course.
what can you say for this year? Obviously, the team has looked in two games. Obviously, you played Umpy too, but
Hmm.
two games against a D1 competition. It's been
Yeah.
uh, two great games against two very good teams.
Yeah.
Um, obviously, didn't win against Merrimack, but uh, they won their conference last year. They didn't get to go to the
Yeah.
tournament because they just moved conferences, but they won their conference and it wasn't really close. They won their tournament too. So you played a team who last year was very good and was thought to be like one of the teams like, oh, if they could play in the tournament, they'd be one of the teams everybody's looking at going, maybe we should watch them in the NCAA tournament. So what does
Hmm.
that say for you guys to be right there defensively, especially with a team that was great defensively? What is walking away from? I mean, you have to be a little bit of a moral victory, even though you lost, to be like, this is where we're at, guys. Like, yeah, fifth in the preseason poll. Watch us be number one type of stuff because that performance showed it.
Of course, it's motivation, Like we did lose to Merrimack to a very close game, and they were like champions last year. And they have a tough defense, but we did know that we could do better, especially on defense. And it's just motivations because that's where we're at right now, and we just know that we have we have progress to make. And once the January starts and we play UNH, Vermont, and all those teams, like we're gonna be ready for it. So right now it's just like we know that we're just learning with new players, a new coaching staff. Like not for me, but like for the eight new players that we have, it's a new
Yep.
coaching staff for them, new offense, new defense. So we just know that we're learning right now, and that we're gonna get better throughout the year for each game.
Yeah, and what can you say for such a young team?
Mm,
Like, because truthfully, like obviously there are a bunch of upperclassmen, but you have a lot of youth. Like you said, 8 guys on the team who are new to
yeah,
the team, whether that be transfers or or new freshmen.
yeah,
I mean, what can you say for um, the youth that's playing well, but also like the fact that you guys as a team have played so well to start. I mean, you guys look like a whole different team. I mean, I can tell you,
of course, yeah.
you know, I was watching games. I've been watching games for a long time, and like you can just
Hmm.
there feels like there's something different about this main team than there has been in years past. And I mean, youth has to be doing something with that, obviously, but you guys as well. I mean, what can you say for um, the vibe in the locker room right now?
Oh yeah, we know, like we know how good we could be. It's just we have to every day put like say like put in that work and know that like we know that we have to do what we have to do. So like we need to come in each game and know that we have to everything starts on defense basically, you know. Because I feel like our offense is flowing and everything is flowing on offense.
Mm,
It's just sometimes we get caught up on defense and that's when the game slips. It's
mm,
on defense. So we have to come into the game knowing that we got the defense. We're gonna lock everyone down. We're gonna play as a team on defense. And then once the whole team knows that, then no one can stop us. And that's my honest opinion. Like once we were locked in on defense, no one could stop us because we have the length, we have the speed. Like even all the new guys, like we have the speed, the length, the athleticism. Like we know that we could be good. As just we need to just you know like lock in, and that's just you know like that's just us having like new guys.
yeah,
It's we just have to be all on the same page, you know. But we definitely like every practice we're telling ourselves like just defense, you know, like locking on defense, and then everything else will go as planned. So yeah,
yeah. I want to talk a little bit. I love that answer, by the way. It was a great
yeah,
answer.
yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about the pit because it's a big thing.
No,
I
yeah.
talked to Bryce about it last week.
Oh yeah,
It's always a big conversation. What is the pit like? Is it fun? I want to hear from a guy who's played in the pit plenty of
yeah,
times.
yes.
Um, how is your opinion on the
Oh,
pit?
of course. I prefer playing the pit by far.
Yeah.
I think that the atmosphere is amazing. Like I don't know if you probably watched the Brian game last year,
Yep.
but that's the football team was in there. All the teams were in there, and without them, like they really did impact the game. And just like having like a small gym, you know, where it's on campus, it's close to the students, everyone could come in, you know. It's just easier like to have like a great environment, you know. And honestly, like we practice in that gym every day, so we're used to those rims, we're used to the court.
Yeah.
So I just feel like it's just a way better gym to play in, and we're just more comfortable in, you know. It's like a high school gym, like a high school vibe, you know, like the
Yeah.
atmosphere, which is perfect. Like it helps, and I love playing in the pit, honestly.
Yeah, that's what Bryce and I were saying. It's like it's the size of basically like uh, most of the high school gyms around here. So it's fun
Exactly.
because like that's the environment that we're used to. And I mean, like you said, I
Yeah.
mean, that like the environment's very similar up in Montreal. So like
Yeah.
that that that's what you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
Why not stick with it? It was wild to
Yeah.
me up until this year that they didn't stick in the pit. Obviously, it has its own issues when you're watching, but
Of
environment
course.
wise, I mean, I don't know if you. It's not even comparable to being in the cross.
No, it's not comparable to the cross.
No,
Like the cross is like it's too big and it's like spaced out, you
yes,
know, and it's just way different than the pit. So
for sure.
yeah.
Um, so fifth year on the way out, obviously want to win the championship. What can you say? What would you say
Hmm.
to year one kid version of Ja'Shonte coming in? What would you say now to that version of you if you could get
I
to
was
say one thing?
one thing I would say it's corny, but I think it's the best words is trust the process.
Yeah,
Because coming in as a freshman, for me, honestly, coming in as a freshman in the United States for a D1 team, I didn't know what to expect. So I was like, trying to figure out my role. My role changed like every year,
Mm.
so it's kind of hard adjusting. But I would just say stick to the process, and everything will, like, you'll figure it out. I would tell myself that, honestly.
Yeah,
It
I
is
like
it is
that.
corny. It is corny, but it's the best words. Trust, like, just stick to the process. Trust the process.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I can imagine, like we talked about at the beginning, right? Having different coaches, it felt like every
Hmm.
single year. I mean, obviously it
Yeah.
wasn't, but it felt that way a lot of
Yeah.
the way it was. And so now a little bit of stability.
Yes.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, it is. It
Sounds
is
like with
yeah,
coach.
yeah. With Markwood, it is stability, and like with the coaching staff, everyone is just it's way different. It's way better, and that's what I needed, like stability.
Yeah,
So yeah,
for
I would
sure.
just say that.
When you played in high school, did you have the same high school coach the whole way through?
Yes, yes, I
You
did.
did. See,
Yeah.
that's wild to me. I mean, that's so. I mean, because I just come from a guy. I had middle school. I had three different coaches in 3 different years. Then I
Oh
got to
wow.
high school. Yeah, and I got to high school, and I had three different coaches in 4 years.
Oh,
And
that's
so
the yeah.
that's, I mean,
Th-
that's basically what you had in college. So like, I can
Yeah,
only imagine as a high school athlete being like, dude, I can't get anything going because I don't know what to expect from this person.
exactly. Yeah,
And then like as the coach, they're like, well, I'm here for the year. Maybe I'm not going to be back next year, so I'm not going to
yeah. Who
do as
cares?
much as I
Yeah,
want to. Yeah, exactly. I mean, they may not
yeah,
be saying it, but it surely looks that way sometimes.
yeah. Of course.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I mean it says something for Coach Markwood to come in. I mean, you've said it, Bryce has said it. I mean, who hasn't said it about Coach
Hmm.
Markwood? He's just a great guy and has done great things for this program and seems to be headed in the right direction. One last thing before we go.
Of
I
course.
just thought of
Of
this.
course. Yeah.
um, you're standing on the court.
Hmm.
It's championships for America East. Maine's there. Put whatever opponent you want in there, whichever one you want to see the most.
Hmm.
Um, and you're seconds away from moving on. What's the first thing you think about? And then what's the first thing you do when that buzzer goes off and Maine is just one America East?
The first thing I'm doing is, I mean, I'm just trying to enjoy the moment. I'll probably shed some tears,
Yeah,
honestly, because it's been a long way. A long journey. And the first thing I'm doing, honestly, that's a great question. The first thing I'm doing.
yeah. Take your time. Take your
Um,
time. Say, I caught you off guard with it. I didn't prep you with
yeah,
it,
you did.
so
No,
I,
it's
I
it's all
caught
good.
I caught you off guard with it. It just popped in my head. It was like this question. I gotta ask it. So
Yeah, I definitely call my mom, call my family, call my friends, and said we did it.
mm,
Because they know my how I've been since my freshman year. The ups and downs, and I'm just telling them, like, finally did it,
mm,
and just enjoying that and showing them, that we did it, and just enjoying that phone call and probably crying too. Like, just a
for
surreal
sure.
moment. I probably don't even know what I would do with myself, honestly. I'd
I
probably just stand there for a
think that's
couple
fair.
minutes, soak it all in. But yeah, I probably definitely call family just to tell
Love it.
them, like, we did it.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah,
All right. Well, I want to thank you for coming on the podcast. If you have anything else to say, feel free. You
yeah.
can plug your social medias if you want anything. You got anything you want to say?
Oh no, I just wanted to say thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course.
Honestly, it's a great podcast. I enjoyed the questions, very
Awesome.
great questions, and I hope to see you at one of our games
For sure.
this year. So yeah, at the
For sure.
pit.
Absolutely. Yes. I will come.
Yeah.
I'll come find you at the pit. Don't you worry.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. But yeah,
All
that's
right,
all I have to
everybody.
say. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you to everyone who's watching. Ja'Shonte Wright Mcleish, guys.